Frack on. Welcome to an episode of Frack The Canon. I am joined by Tyler Ruiz. How you doing, good sir?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for pushing us to do this. So Loki season 2 just
Yes,
wrapped up. Your thoughts, good sir, on
I
Loki?
liked it better than season one. I think it's the best. At least the latter half of it is the best time travel's been done on Marvel, and very happy with how it concluded.
Okay. See, I had the opposite. I just like I didn't I my first reaction of season is when I'm like, we don't need this. This was a movie. Everything, and I felt the same way for this one. Like, we don't need this. I personally felt like this could have been done in 3 to 4 episodes. It could have been a movie. Because I'm like, because I felt personally, I'm like, why are we following this? What are we doing this for? If all I feel like filler, like what was that one thing with the clock, Mrs. Time or
This is
was it
minutes.
Ms. Minutes? Thank you, Ms. Minutes. Oh my God, Mrs. Time, Ms. Minutes. I'm like, dude, like why? Like she's evil, and then like where did that go? She's in love with Victor Timely or Kang?
With all your powers and all your abilities, you just kept me as your thing, your computer, your toy, instead of what I could have been. Your girl. Victor, what are you doing? Put that down. Don't do this. We're a team. You need me. I love you.
Or He Who Remains? I'm like, dude, like that went nowhere. Like I felt that the final when they finally bring him into the TVA to start fixing the loop. Okay, this is cool. This is interesting. But I'm like, okay, this is I felt like it felt like a chore to me. I'm not gonna lie. This felt like a chore to me to watch. Um, and so did like other like there was other shows in the past. A few of them like
Yeah,
but
Disney
this one felt a
Plus.
short. Go sorry.
Yeah, you said it. Most of Disney Plus could have been movies that were too
Oh yeah,
long.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh for sure. And I felt like this was one. I mean, but I will say this: the best thing about this thing with Jonathan Majors, like, oh, I think he killed it as Victor Timely when he came back as He Who Remains. I'm like, dude, he is such a great actor. And they're like, he's not playing around. Like he's taking this seriously. He's taking this playing this earnestly as hell. And I'm like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
he was
And
awesome. Like,
and
go ahead.
yeah. Oh no. Yeah, and Tom Hiddleston too is a fantastic actor.
Tom
Um,
Hiddleston was great. I think Tom Hiddleston was awesome, but I'm like, I didn't call it, but I felt something was up. I'm like, dude, like this isn't the Loki we know because the Loki that this is supposed to be, this is a 2012 Avengers Loki, right? So I'm like, this Loki should still be in the path of glorious purpose, and he kind of was, but I'm like, it took me out of it. I'm like, this Loki wouldn't care, and that kind of was my issue with the first season too. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know I'm alone in this one, but I'm like, I don't really care
you're not
for it.
alone. Um, I will say too, the first half of season two was really hard to get through. I'm with you on that. But a lot of like Loki season one was like hard to get through for me too.
Yes, and that's I
Yeah.
agree with you completely. Like I was the same way. I'm like, see, I think we talked about it
In our
in previous
Loki
episodes.
episode, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, wait, sorry.
No, that's it. I was just mentioning, yeah, but once you get timely to the TVA, then it all like falls into place for me because
Hmm.
then it's like, okay, yeah, here it is. He's here to fix a thing, and we don't have this stupid side plot about Renslayer and the renegade TVA agents trying to wipe out all the timelines to save the TVA.
Dude, yeah, that felt like this is what is this? Why are we here? Like this made to me no sense. So I'm like, okay,
But
right.
uh,
Let's talk about the finale, that final
sure.
status quo of Loki. How did you take that? What did that mean to you? Because I'm like, I have some thoughts about that.
I took it as like the whole I am burdened with glorious purpose, and I was like, wow, that's like the first thing like he says in Avengers, and then now it's like his Iron Man, I am Iron Man snap moment.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, wow, that is a big burden and a glorious purpose. I did, it was kind of weird to me that all of a sudden he can now grab timelines. and kind of wrangled them into a tree shape.
So to me, that was
Yeah.
the tree of your. I know in North, I'm
Yeah.
not very well versed. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No,
I'm not very
you
well
said
versed.
you're good. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's it. I said you're good. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not very well in Norse mythology, but I know that that's the tree of the realms.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, he made the timelines so that's what confused me too. I'm like, I figured that he brought them back to life, the timelines, the alternate timelines,
Yeah.
brought them back to life, and he made it into a tree, and that's the tree of the realm, the tree of I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put
Yeah.
the spelling down here. You let me know how it's pronounced.
Jotunheim or something. I don't know. Jotunhelm.
You know, Jotunheim is another thing. Jotunheim was where he's from. Remember, it's where Loki's from.
Yeah. Gosh, there's too many
So
words.
that was the thing. Sorry, but I'm like, so okay, so now he is the master. Now he is a god of. He's no longer a god of mischief. Now he's like he is a. Okay, that was kind of cool. And I felt to me at the end, okay, we're done with Tom Hiddleston. We're done with Loki. This in this incarnation, MCU Loki is done. Like we will never. This is what I got from it. We will never see him again. That's
Yeah,
what I got from this.
I think we'll see him again for Kang Dynasty. Because I mean, yes, that's his I am Iron Man moment, but now we're hearing that apparently there's rumors that RDJ and Scarlett Johansson are gonna be back for the multiverse stuff. Um, but there's been so many rumors, who knows what's true or not. But I do think if all these timelines are now this tree thing, which is a multiverse, the eight realms tree. So my interpretation of that is like string theory, like they are all like one timeline, but there's different dimensions, so you can get to these realms. So that would make sense with the existing tree in the MCU, like what Odin oversaw or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's so much like that was just um weird about him saying, "Oh, I'm a god. I can do this now. I can control time. I can do these things. I guess gods can do this." But the whole time I'm like, "Wait, he's not a real god though. Like he's not even uh he's not even Asgardian. He's a frost giant, right? Like so like how did he get his powers outside of his mom teaching him sorcery? Like I guess sorcery can now control time. Like so that was there was a lot of like okay, I guess we can like what's the word where you all of a sudden have powers like power discovery, type of thing.
Not much of it. X two do
Deus Ex Machina.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I was just like, what? So I was just pretty like, it took me a minute to show because the throne came out of nowhere too. Like his horns came up. I'm like, oh, I see what's happening. He's getting his throne that he always wanted.
Yeah, which was cool.
Right.
Yeah. Which it's like good writing if it's like you're reading mythological stuff, but bad writing if it's supposed to be grounded in reality.
I don't
Which
understand.
so like in terms of like writing, this there's like good writing. There's like two schools of thought, or two major schools of thought. It's like anything can happen so long as it's justified, or everything has to make sense. And this kind of went with anything can happen so long as it's justified, but at the same time, like a lot of the MCU is trying to like at least before like Infinity War, like everything was like the Russo brothers, like Winter Soldier and Civil War and stuff. Everything felt real, like it could happen in real life.
Was grounded in reality. I got you saying.
Yeah,
I got you. I never heard of those thoughts. I just knew Aristotle's Poetics,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
that's one thing I knew. So I didn't know. I've never heard about that, but I didn't know about that. But yeah, I agree with you. Everything felt. Yeah, everything was grounded up until Doctor Strange, where they're like, we're gonna bring in magic now. And
Yeah.
so we'll see how this goes. Because even Thor, they're like, no, he's not really an alien. He's not really a god. He's an alien. And they're
Yeah.
like, magic aside, the same thing where I come from. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, this one, dude, like I said, like I with Loki season 1, season 2, I'm like, I didn't need this. Like I did not need this. It felt just this felt to me like filler. Like most of the season felt like filler, except for the last episode where you were like, okay, this is happening. I like nothing about their alternate timelines like matters. I mean, why do I care about this? Like, I mean, it's showing their human story, like humanizing them. The show is called Loki. What is Loki losing? What is Loki gaining here? What does that say
His
for Loki?
friends.
Go ahead.
So the I was hyper analyzing it, but I think Loki, his whole quote from it's like the first episode of season 1 and the last episode of season 2, which will be the whole series. Same episode title, Burning with Glorious Purpose. At the beginning, he keeps saying it, I glorious purpose. I was supposed to take over Earth, and this is supposed to be my throne. And then the end of season 2, it's my throne is saving the multiverse or whatever, with holding the timeline together for the rest of eternity. Because I'll be outside time and I guess I won't age. But his growth, it's expedited so quickly, it kind of doesn't make sense. Within his growth from being this egotistical arch villain who doesn't care about anything, like you said, like that's 2012 Loki, not like after all the other movies Loki. But he gets from here to saving everything Loki through his relationships with like Mobius and everyone else in the TVA, and is falling for Sylvie and his feelings for her. So like the middle of season 2, like after it started getting good, was like him trying to save his friends. And that whole episode where he's like going and looking through the different timelines to find them and everything. And I'm assuming it's one timeline, but different like Alcatraz Island and everything, and like the doctor's office or whatever. Sylvie is like, you got to let them go because like that's their choice, and you're taking their choices away by telling them this lie that you need them to save the universe or whatever, because they just don't remember. Um, but I think the heart of this series is like Loki learning to sacrifice for his friends, like the only friends he ever has had. And I think more could have been done in his backstory to kind of convey that to the audience.
Yeah, because I didn't get that at all. I didn't get that at all from this series, the show at all. So I'm like, where did you see that? Because if you can give me an example, because again, I'm not trying to say like you're wrong, but I'm
Yeah,
like, I didn't get that at all.
it's in that episode where he's traveling through time to save them, and at the bar with Sylvie, um, when they order a drink, and Sylvie's like, "What are you trying to save? Like, what does it matter?" And Loki's like, "They're my friends. Like, I I don't know how to like live without them." Um, and
that to me didn't ring true to like. I mean,
yeah,
that didn't ring true because again, we know. So this is kind of where I'm like, they're taking this Loki at a time who didn't have any friends, who literally just came off trying
correct.
to get rid of the Avengers. If
Yeah,
it would have been the Loki that died before, like that we see grow and evolve up to Ragnarok, I would have bought that. But I'm like, this is the Loki we see from. That's why I'm like, I know what you're saying and what they're trying to do, but I'm like, but it's not that Loki. That's why I'm kind of
Mhm.
like, I don't. That's why I'm like, you're confusing me with what you're trying to say because this not, it doesn't make any sense. Not you,
Yeah.
but the story.
Yes. I completely agree with what you're saying, because it's like, yes, this Loki that we know from 2012 would not develop that quickly. It wouldn't take him getting kicked in the nads by Sif hundreds of times to all of a sudden, sacrifice himself for the universe.
I
But
forgot about that.
yeah, that's a good episode too. But and they messed up. Sorry, that's a whole Thor 4. That gosh, that's one that needs to be fixed too. Um, but gosh, just I still wouldn't replace though Thanos just choking him out in Infinity War at the beginning. After him being so great in Ragnarok, that was like, man, Marvel, you finally like got some balls and decided to kill a character. Good for you guys. And then and the Loki show came, and this is one thing I kind of dislike about the whole multiverse stuff is characters can't really die, especially if they bring back Iron Man. I'm like, no, like stop, leave them in the box, like put these toys away. If you keep trying to bring more toys out, and now we just have piles of toys everywhere. Sorry, that's all to say. But the one thing I do want to pull from the Loki series is those last 3 episodes. I think are the best time travels that Marvel's ever done, even better than Endgame, because they keep having different versions of multiverse everything in um in the Marvel universe. And what Loki I think is trying to do is simplify everything by making it really clear what the whole multiverse is. And in the effort of doing that, they're trying to set up Kang, obviously. And gosh, that last episode of Kang, especially, was like, oh, we've been here thousands of times, because he's he who remains, and he's in control of the end of time or whatever. Um, Anyways, that's my opinion. And I want to shout out to the one thing I like that happened from the stupid side plot about Renslayer and the the people who were trying to wipe out the timelines with the time bombs stuff, is the Halloween episode Miss Minutes. And we're the coolest one of the coolest things that ever happened in the MCU was where she just put them all in the box and the box just crushed them.
How does it feel knowing that all of us here would rather die than follow you out that door?
And everyone's just watching them, and with the noises of their guts just getting just like, I can't even make the noise or whatever. But
Yeah, that was pretty hardcore. I mean, we never saw it, but we imagined it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not Marvel fatigued, but I'm like, this is not good. Like,
Mm.
this is lower quality. I can feel we need to push stuff out now. Just get it out there, and it shows. And I feel that
Especially with the Marvels, I think.
Let's talk about Loki.
I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised they released
Let's
it.
not talk about that.
Or Echo, like, come on.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about something we haven't seen yet. Let's just talk about Loki right now. I haven't seen Marvels yet. Let's stick to this topic right now.
But it's all relevant. It's the fatigue is setting in. It's a thing.
No, I think it's just bad. It's not good. Like, Quantumanium was not good. Loki, this was not good. I mean, it was like there was a lot of feel like film. Like, this went nowhere. A lot of other stuff went like, what? Why? It felt to me like filler. I'm like, I don't.
Well,
so like, go ahead.
It's so there's an important setup with Loki that actually no other Disney Plus anything has, which is the setup of Kang. Loki set up Kang, and obviously Quantumania was supposed to elevate him even more, and they just decided to last minute rewrite and make him lose to Scott Lang in a fist fight. Which
Is that true?
yeah, it was the last minute.
Where did you see this? I didn't know about this.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Evangeline Lilly, the Wasp, was going to come in and win the fight for Ant-Man, and then the rewrites made it so it was more of a back and forth fisticuffs, and then it turned into Kang kicking Scott in the face or whatever, instead of using his powers or whatever, which, and then the ants winning at the end was like, gosh, it's gosh, who was supposed to make who wrote the original script for Ant-Man?
Edgar Wright.
Yeah, Edgar Wright. If Edgar Wright was able just to write that whole trilogy without Peyton Reed, taking up the baton and trying to fix everything, imagine how much better it could have been. But I'm saying all to say, what Loki season 2 did amazingly, which a lot of people I think a lot of it's fatigue of why people are tuning out, was because they killed He Who Remains at the end of season 1. People are like, oh, I guess Kang's dead, and then in season 2 it comes back to that moment because Loki's trying to save the loom or trying to save the timelines, and he's like, hey, you're back. All right, here we are. Remember that thing where she stabbed me? I knew she was going to do that because I'm in control of all time and I'm just playing games with everything. And I kind of loved that. Like, it made him more intimidating again. And that's why I elevate Loki above, even if there are boring episodes. I elevate it above like most other Disney Plus Marvel shows because it actually adds, to the most important upcoming villain in MCU.
I don't agree. I'll leave it at that. I don't agree. I think it was subpar. I'm like, this is, and I said it about the season 1. I'm like, this is subpar. I didn't really care for it.
Compared to what?
I love
the Disney
I
Plus
love
everything.
WandaVision,
Well,
Captain
WandaVision's the
Soldier,
gold standard.
but like I did not care for this. I did not. Like, this is like
You
what was
like
it? There was also
She-Hulk more than Loki?
what?
You like She-Hulk more than Loki?
Yes, we talked about this. You know this. Like I love She-Hulk since the comics. So I'm like, since I started reading comics. So yeah, I was. So for me, that was. But anyways, back to Loki. It just like I'm not. To me, it's not the fatigue. To me, this is not good. Like, this is not. But again, Jonathan Majors killed it. Like always. Like he was like, dude, you're such like you make him his performance makes him an intimidating coming up villain. And that's all I can say about this show because I'm like, we've talked about everything else but this show so much. You're like, we've gone off topic, talking about everything else but Loki. So that's why I'm like,
I've talked a lot about Loki.
We went off topic.
A couple times. It's relevant. We're trying to piece the whole MCU together.
But that's not what this episode's about. We're talking about like Loki.
Well, I think what Loki's trying to do is fix what went off the rails in phase 4 to get back on the rails for phase 5 with Kang. Like, they're trying to put Kang as the big scary guy. And how do you do that aside from, hey, this guy actually you think was really expendable by like being easily killed by Sylvie at the end of season 1 is actually so cunning that he's just playing games with people, and he purposely got stabbed by Sylvie knowing that it's going to lead to this crazy centuries long, there was that Smash title card, centuries long of Loki trying to save the timeline or whatever.
Yeah, that was just a positionary dialogue. I'm like, this happened. I'm like, okay, whatever. To me, I'm like, dude, like, it just, like, I only watched it because I'm like, I need to stay up with what's gonna happen. I was zoned out. Like, after the Marvels, what's next? I don't know what's coming out to the Fantastic Four, I think, but that got pushed back because of the strikes.
Yeah, everything got pushed back. Deadpool 3 might be next. Echo comes out, I think, before that even.
which I do not care about at all.
Yeah. Yeah, we did
Um,
the trailer react for that.
yeah, I gotta edit that. But yeah, dude, like I don't think it like back to this show for me again. I like the character in pieces, in little doses. This was like this is too much Loki. It's not the Loki I wanted. And that's it. Yeah, not the Loki I wanted, and I need my Loki in low doses. Not
I
this is good.
No, so I'm with you on that. I want more evil Loki. I thought we were gonna get more of him this season because there was that one episode, I think it was the first episode of season 2, where they went back to the 70s to get to that movie actor guy or whatever, and Loki does the cloning thing he does.
Yeah,
He controls the shadows and he had the horns in the shadows. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. His powers are back.
but they never do it again. I'm like, so
I
what's
know.
the point of this? So I'm like,
I know.
final comments, final thoughts.
Nerdrotic.com, which has a YouTube channel, released Loki season 2 clips with laugh track, like Seinfeld laugh tracks, and it's hilarious. It really makes it seem like the writers this season were attempting a comedy, and falling well short. So it's definitely worth the watch and kind of gives a different point of view for what the writers are trying to do with some of Owen Wilson, especially as his dialogue choices. And um, I'm excited for Kang Dynasty now after Loki season 2, and I am a little less apprehensive for the future of the MCU given Jonathan Majors' performance, and I hope he's able to stay as Kang.
My only thoughts was too long. A lot of fluffer episodes. We just needed the last 3. More Jonathan Majors as all those characters, because him as Victor Tomlin with that little stutter he had of his. I'm like, dude, like this is more Jonathan Majors than anything.
Yeah,
Please.
the lip thing. He
Oh,
just,
dude, everything, dude, like everything he did, dude, like Jonathan Majors, great actor, great actor. Yeah. Well, thank you, Tyler. Thank you for pushing for this. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off.